on Alex's birthday, I was watching the Food Network, and they were talking, like, this is the greatest burger I've ever had. And they just described, like, the most basic burger ever.
A mushroom Swiss burger.
It's just like, oh, you take the patties and you do what? You cook them on a flat surface, and you season them with salt and pepper? Fuck me. Like, what the hell?
That's so exotic.
Oh my god, I know.
For Mormons, it's a...
Yeah, especially for Mormons.
You put lettuce on a burger? Oh man, you're taking it to the next level. Oh, I gotta be careful, this ketchup is real spicy there. Hey, tag! That's like Mitt Romney telling his kids, don't put that ketchup on, otherwise you'll burn your tongue.
Yeah. You remember when, like, I remember I was watching Mad Men once, and, like, apparently in the 50s on a hot day, to alleviate, like, being annoyed from the heat, you would just drink hot chocolate. Yeah. Which is the most counterintuitive thing I've ever even thought of.
In the summer, I drink hot tea to cool down, because your body, on a physiological level, like, if you drink hot, because your body has homeostasis, it will naturally lower your body temperature.
Really?
Yeah. It's because the outside of your body isn't necessarily the same temperature as the inside of your body.
Right, okay.
So when you heat up, you make the inside of your body the same temperature as the outside, your internal temperature lowers.
Right, okay.
So it cools you down for real.
Alright, anyways, welcome, you beautiful pieces of garbage. It is March 26th, 2017, International Nike Air Max Day, and you are listening to episode 2 of the Agree to Disagree podcast with Sean,
Alex,
Arjun.
Alright, so yeah, what do we got today, guys?
We've got a whole bunch of BS on the docket today.
Yeah.
First of all, I would like to play a little clip that is the sound of a middle finger. Someone arranged a piano piece on, I guess it's GarageBand.
Looks like it.
And they made it into the shape of a middle finger. And this is what it sounds like.
Here's a listen. Music to my ears. That boy sure can play.
That could be our, like, theme song, I feel like.
Yeah, man.
No doubt, man.
We have a theme song coming.
Apparently.
But tentatively, this could be the one.
This could be like our, like, you know, like ones that we can play until we get an actual theme song.
Maybe, I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add this to the group. This is it. I'll try to find the source on this.
Cool.
Howdy, y'all.
How's
This
it
year's the
going?
Agree to Disagree podcast. Play it again, Sam.
Yeah. It's like set in 1920 Chicago. We're all wearing flapper dresses, Arjun and Sean included.
Yep.
All right. A lot of things happening.
Smoking like 3 cigarettes a minute. Constantly smoking cigarettes.
No wonder they died so young back then.
You want cigarettes on that sandwich?
Cigarettes.
Of course I want cigarettes on that sandwich.
I'm pretty sure they'll cook the cigarettes into your sandwich.
Yeah. Put the cigarettes into your sandwich. Or smoke your roast beef with cigarettes. And then take the roast beef and put it into Jell-O.
Yeah, exactly.
So Chelsea Handler won a Lifetime Achievement Award this week.
Chelsea Handler?
No, Chelsea Clinton. Chelsea Handler should win a Lifetime Achievement Award. I love
debatable.
that woman. No, I love her.
That's debatable. We can
love
talk
her.
about that another time. Anyways,
next
so
episode.
you're talking about Chelsea Clinton?
Chelsea Clinton.
Like the Chelsea Clinton?
The Chelsea Clinton.
Of the Clinton dynasty?
Yeah.
Sweet.
37-year-old Chelsea Clinton. So there are a few articles. There was one by The Hill and one by LA Times that I have on hand here. Both of which basically explain that she received a Lifetime Achievement Award. But the issue here was that it was published as Lifetime Achievement Award, but really what they really meant is an achievement award given to her by the television network Lifetime. And it was a huge...
How convenient.
Yeah. And...
Oh yeah, just letting you guys know that Chelsea Clinton is 37 years old.
Lifetime achievement.
I'm not trying to poison the well, or maybe I am, but I'm just letting you know.
That's insanity, to be that young. And Malala Yousafzai is 19 years old, and,
She's like the real homie.
She has a Nobel Peace Prize.
But not a life. She's the only person who deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Got like shot in the face.
Yeah,
right?
she has.
Yeah, because she's like, fuck y'all homies, fuck y'all bitches, I'm going to school. Can't stop me from going to
And
school.
she doesn't even have. She has a Nobel Peace Prize, a Glamour Award for Girls, Hero Award, an Anna Politkovskaya Award. I don't know. A Mother Teresa Award.
Okay.
Shorty Award for Teen Hero. Goodreads Choice Award for her book. National Malala Peace Prize. So she has a prize named after her.
Good.
There you go. Good for her. She deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes.
But Chelsea Clinton won this award because she is encouraging kids to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Didn't Michelle Obama do the same thing? Like
Correct.
During like her time as like first lady, she's
Yes.
telling kids, you know, get off the couch, and like she had those initiatives and programs
Yeah.
where.
Well, don't most first ladies try to do something like that?
Yeah, they take on one initiative. Like right now, apparently
Melania's trying to
she's
deal
trying
with
to deal
internet
with
bullying.
cyberbullying, which is, if that's not the most ironic shit you've ever heard of in your life.
My Donald's the biggest internet bully, but you don't have to be like him.
My Donald, oh, you do it perfectly. She's
That was
amazing.
so
She's
good.
a
It's like you
Slovenian
don't
beauty.
you don't have to be internet bully like Melania. What is it? Not now, Donald. Okay?
But anyways, read more of the story because I want to tear this
This
Clinton
is just
lady.
some nepotism bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. It's complete nepotism because like clearly they're grooming her to run for like some sort of state legislate. Not
Can
state.
I just point something out here?
Yeah.
Go.
And I'm going to hop on the SJW wagon here for a second because
Great.
Michelle Obama is I think we can all agree she's very well-rounded.
Totally.
She took on childhood obesity and child hunger at the same time and like started all these initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
And her only 2 awards that she's ever won is a Shorty special for gift star because she was in a whole bunch of Vines.
Okay.
And a Glamour Special Recognition Award, which in Glamour magazine is like fashion and like beauty. So I'd like to point out that what she has done is I would not even say arguably,
Yeah.
but more important than anything that Chelsea Clinton has ever done as far as mainstream media is concerned. And she's won an award for Vines and her health and beauty.
So nothing to do with the whole combating child obesity or getting
Meanwhile-
kids off the couch and getting them to engage in some play and like being active. And...
Yeah. Meanwhile, Chelsea Clinton who's done nothing, as far as we know, other than take on helping kids eat better.
From where I read, she also worked for the Clinton Foundation.
Wow.
And she's worked for a few other foundations.
She won Glamour Award of Woman of the Year in 2014. Chelsea Clinton was Woman of the Year in 2014.
Okay, because of what though?
Let's find out.
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't like it. Clearly, if you can utilize any moniker or any tiny shred of critical thinking skills, you'll know that this is just a ploy to give her this amazing resume for when she runs for president in a couple years.
I'm gonna avenge you, Mom and Dad.
Dakota.
She's gonna do it. She's gonna run for president.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
She won Woman of the Year because she believes there are solutions to the world's most complex problems.
Everybody
as-
believes that there are
Like,
solutions
very
to
good.
Alex Jones believes he has.
Yes.
And we haven't even fucking touched the subject of, like, how Michelle Obama has not been recognized for any of... Like, she's been recognized for being in a Vine and for being beautiful and appearing healthy.
Is it because Michelle Obama's black?
That's sort of what I'm getting at here.
Really?
Sort of. Why else wouldn't she get the award?
Because her last name isn't Clinton.
That's
Okay, yeah, okay.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Her last name isn't Clinton.
That's a
She's
whole
not part
other
of a
issue.
Clinton dynasty.
That's a good point.
She's not touching the tip or sitting on every single corporation's lap,
Also,
promising them different things.
I also think that I wouldn't bother to consider Chelsea Clinton for a woman, like a woman's Woman of the Year award,
Okay.
strictly on the basis that she has 4 degrees and has no student debt. Okay, and my issue with this here is that if she really believes that there are issues that need to be tackled, and the fact that she has 4 degrees and no student debt shows me that she is, in that regard, so out of touch with people her own age. Because one of the biggest problems that people our age face is student debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
No, I
the fact
agree
that
with
you have 4 degrees, 1 from Stanford, Columbia, and 2 from Oxford.
That's a lot.
Oxford. Hey, fun fact about Oxford University: it is older than the civilization of the Aztecs. Did you know that?
I
I think I did know that.
Heard that somewhere.
Interesting fact.
That's
But
your little tidbit for today, folks.
Still friggin' like, are you kidding me? Anyway, so let's just hear everybody else's thoughts on this. Chelsea Clinton to be honored by Variety Lifetime. Which, even short of the fact that it's not a Lifetime Achievement Award, and it's an achievement award by the Variety Network Lifetime, she doesn't have a TV show.
No.
It'd be funny if she did on
Like-
Lifetime.
How does this make... There's no equation that would come to this point. Like,
It doesn't add up, basically.
yeah.
Well, the only thing, like I've said like twice already, the only way that this could possibly make sense is that she's being groomed to run for office. Whether that is state senate or state congress or congress or senate or even eventually becoming president or running for, president.
That's true.
Which is absolutely going to happen.
Okay, so other winners of
willing to
this
bet
year
fucking money.
include Gayle King of CBS This Morning. Makes sense. She's on TV.
There you go.
Actress Jessica Chastain. She's an actress. Blake Lively, an actress. And Audra McDonald, who I don't know who that is.
I think she's a singer.
Okay.
I've heard her before on
an
Jimmy
entertainer.
Fallon. Yeah, there you go.
Is this like a Lifetime Achievement Award for women?
I guess.
I don't think so.
Oh.
It's just all women, I guess.
Mm.
Oh, yes it is.
It is?
Variety, in partnership with Lifetime, will hand out the Impact Honorees Awards during its annual Women in Power luncheon at the Ritzy Cipriani restaurant in Midtown Manhattan on April 18th.
How fancy.
And it's hosted
Ritzy
by,
Cipriani.
Way to connect with the people.
Yeah, way to connect with the people.
like,
The
I relate.
Democratic and
this is relatable.
There you go.
Ugh.
It's like, hey, I'm totally with the guys, even though I don't have student debt, and
Yeah, I probably never worked a day in my life, which
you
doesn't really matter, but
No, but it
kinda
does.
adds to it.
It does. If you, like, I would love to see someone that is legitimately relatable win this kind of award. Like, someone who has experienced student debt. Someone who has experienced, like
a little bit of strife.
Yeah,
just a
just a
little bit.
little.
Just a little. You don't.
And, like,
you
not
don't
based-
have to. You don't have to be Malala Yousafzai, but like you have to have dealt with a little bit of adversity.
Yeah. And my issue with all of this is that it's like, you are saying, like, never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. I had an idea and then you
What
started
are your
talking.
thoughts on this?
Well, I was gonna say, I'm sure, she would say to the general public, you don't have 2 degrees from Oxford? It's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But, like, how can we award these people and, like, for things that are relatable? Because people, myself, I look at these people who are supposed to be role models, who are receiving awards for being stand-up role models to women everywhere.
Yep.
And it's like, I will never be like that because I can't afford to go to Oxford twice and Columbia once and Stanford once and get away with no student debt. If I got half a degree from one of those places, like if I went for 2 years, I'd be in student debt until I was past retirement.
Absolutely.
This isn't relatable.
It's almost that same thing, even not with with the awards, or even with celebrity and what was it? Those actors that come up with lifestyle brands, or they'll talk about I don't know, Gwyneth Paltrow had that invention.
Goop.
Yeah, Goop or whatever. And
What was this?
Gwyneth Paltrow has a series on the web that you can subscribe to, and it's basically things that make your life more whole and life tips for women and healthier lifestyle stuff. And every year she publishes a basically a catalog of things that make your life easier. And this year she had a $600 sex toy. So you're fucking kidding me? In my opinion, we need to stop awarding people in mainstream media who have experienced zero adversity. And, stop we're rewarding people, like, and people need to start winning these awards not based on their oppression points, but based on things that actually legitimately happen to them. Like, I shouldn't receive an award just because I'm a woman and because I did something that hundreds of other women have done. Like, what Chelsea Clinton has done is she's done exactly what Michelle Obama has done on a smaller scale.
Right. I kind of think that I would kind of like to disagree with you a little bit.
Okay.
I kind of think that an achievement award should be based on
Merit.
achieving something.
Yeah, I agree.
Fucking achieving something.
Yeah, but even, like, not an achievement award, like bravery awards. You shouldn't receive an award for bravery because you're a woman who experiences, like,
the same thing that
oppression.
A lot of other women deal with, or a lot of other people deal with.
Yeah, this is something that many people had happened to them. Like, I'm not expecting an award at the end of the day because I walked down the downtown market and had 70 people catcall me.
Right.
But maybe I should receive an award for starting a foundation that helps a lot of people.
There you go.
Or putting local art on a platform where they're able to spread their art and put money back into the local economy.
Right.
Like, that, to me, is way more important than experiencing things that thousands of other people live through every day. And that's not to say that the things that people experience and are oppressed through, like, thousands of times a day through millions of people. That's not to say that shit isn't important. But this is having to do with awards.
Well, yeah.
It's like you just said, it's a little disconnect between the award givers or the people receiving the awards and the general public.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of think we've talked this subject to death.
I'm not sure that we have.
You don't think so? I kind of think we're diverting into an echo chamber here.
I sort of think that there's a lot to be said
We're
here.
all just going to start jerking each other off.
No, because
also,
you know what?
Gwyneth Paltrow, we can't afford your products. Not everyone could live the same lifestyle as you. That's all. That is all.
Is she still married to the Coldplay guy?
No, they mutually consciously uncoupled is what they called it.
Yeah, that's what like Chris Martin called it that or something.
No, she called it that, and he was like,
okay.
"All right, sure."
Like whatever. I'm gonna make more music and sell my soul to the. Coldplay used to be
sell my soul to Kygo.
I mean, I know, but Coldplay used to be a great band.
Still are.
But I don't like their new stuff though.
No, it's very poppy. But if you listen to like their album one after the other, you can listen to their progression. I think it's.
But I think I stopped listening to them after their Milo Xyloto album from 2011. That's when I kind of reached a boiling point because I almost felt like a record executive or like one of those like heads of like record companies just went to them and be like, "Hey, stop sounding so depressed. Stop sounding depressing. Like you're depressed all the time. Coldplay. Stop sounding so depressed.
You're
be more
mine now.
Yeah, be more happy. Be more poppy. Make people laugh and smile.
Make people dance.
And don't make people gloomy with your British music.
People like dancing, right?
We're gonna put you on James Corden carpool karaoke.
And Coldplay are like, okay, and they pretty much had like record execs tell them what to sound like, and basically they want money and they need money, and you know Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow are not together anymore. So it's like, I gotta make my own money, and now they're.
Well, you know what? The interesting thing about Coldplay is that they went from being like this small indie band to being like a well-known indie band, like made alternative music, to being like a pop alt band, to being, and you can see this in all of their albums. And it's like they went from being a pop alt band to being a pop band exclusively, who played the Super Bowl because they were a pop band.
Yeah.
And then went from that to being a house music name. Like they went right into like rave music, which kind of confuses me.
Well, it makes perfect sense. They're just changing with the times.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to adapt with the times. At the times.
Anyway, back to Chelsea Clinton.
Okay.
I think we haven't really talked about the problem of nepotism here.
That's...
Well, okay, sure. I've been talking about it, but okay, let's go.
And, like, I agree with you that she probably won this based on the fact that Hillary Clinton... it's like, oh, your mom didn't win.
Bill and Hill. Not really. It's just, like, Hillary Clinton... Even if Hillary Clinton never ran for president...
Yeah.
And she's been, like, a prominent politician in the United States... Particularly the state of New York, for, like, the longest time.
And actually, I'm finding with the whole Hillary didn't win thing, I'm surprised that a lot of feminists haven't neo-feminists haven't caught on to this by doing stuff like sharing memes of Hillary Clinton reacting to things when stuff with Donald Trump doesn't go right. That is, in a way, comforting her because she didn't win. And I don't think that that's something that any other man would experience. When Mitt Romney didn't win, nobody was sharing memes of his reaction photos when shit with Obama didn't go right. Nobody was comforting him, and nobody was still sharing stuff like Mitt Romney like does this because, like, you know what I mean? Nobody was rubbing his back because he didn't win. Right. And I think that that's so counter feminism to be like, oh, she's a woman, like she should have won.
Oh, rather they're kind of like patronizing her.
Well, I find that they are, and like patronizing the people who loved Hillary, and it's like because they're women. And I think that in real feminism, if it was for real, then we wouldn't be treating her differently. And I think that a big reason we are treating her differently is because she's a woman.
Like that. That's a really good point.
I just don't think that that's fair.
Well, no, because it's like it's not treating
equality.
Someone different based on their gender, skin color,
and
whatever.
And it might not be like, she's a
she's
a woman, so like, and she should have won because she's a woman, whatever. It's not necessarily consciously because she's a woman. But this is the only time it's ever happened, and it's the only time we've ever had a woman come this close to being president.
Right.
You know, and it's this like that. Those two things are like eerily coincidental, and I don't think that that is right at all. Like, if I'm Hillary Clinton and I'm a person who fights for feminism, I feel like shit because people are like, "Oh, I'm sorry you didn't win, sweetheart. Like, we're gonna do the best we can to make sure that you come out on top of this." Mm-hmm. When Mitt Romney didn't win, nobody gave a fuck about Mitt Romney after that. Yeah. People were like, "Fuck you, Mitt Romney."
You're just some old Mormon dude.
Go back to Utah.
You know what I mean?
Or and Massachusetts, is that where he lives? Massachusetts?
One of the Massachusetts.
But I just feel like that's not...
Or like, where does Mitt Romney... I thought he lived in Connecticut.
But like... Detroit.
Oh, really?
Detroit, Michigan.
Wow. Damn, Mitt Romney...
To be honest, though, I don't really consider myself much of a feminist anymore.
Governor of Massachusetts, though.
Right, okay.
All right.
I don't really consider myself much of a feminist anymore.
Okay.
But I don't really think Hillary Clinton considers herself, she doesn't really consider herself a feminist.
She considers, I think that before she became, like, a presidential nominee, there is a lot of stuff that came from her true heart that spoke of, like classic gender roles that you can't say when you're running for president. And, like, maybe, I mean, to give her the benefit of the doubt, maybe she did have a change of heart, or maybe she did get educated on different things like abortion, different things like Planned Parenthood, different things, you know.
I find a lot of that kind of hard to believe.
Yeah, but you have to give her the benefit of the doubt because you don't know what's going on in her mind. You don't know her personally. You don't. And you're not a clinical psychologist. You're not a doctor. Yeah,
but, okay, you're just using an appeal to authority fallacy with me.
What do you mean?
You're just trying to say, like, oh, I'm not a doctor, so I can't pontificate these different things.
No, but you're saying that it's hard to believe, and I'm saying you have to give her the benefit of the doubt.
What do you mean?
You have to, because you don't know.
But, like, the proof is in the pudding, where she was basically changing all of her stances on things just because everyone else was changing their stances on things. I'm saying that she
But why was everybody changing their stance on things?
Because people were waking up to the fact. And
then why isn't she allowed to wake up to the fact?
Because it was all too convenient. That she was super against same-sex marriage and, like, super confident in it. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as, like, 2013 rolled around and, more people are for it and her corporate backers don't care anymore, that, she's for same-sex marriage now. But she was one of the last people to admit that the Iraq War was a bad idea.
Okay, but that's not the same as, like, social issues that we're talking about here. I'm saying, like, in the sense that lots of people change their mind, she very much could have changed her mind about it, too. And just, even though it's a coincidence...
Sure, but I definitely think it's all too convenient. That it happens that often.
You can't sit here and say that it's not possible that she genuinely changed her mind.
I never said it wasn't possible. I'm just saying it's highly unlikely.
I disagree.
Really?
I really do. Because even though I think that, yes, politicians change their mind and patronize in order to get certain votes, like, I think the whole thing with, like, what do I carry in my purse? Hot sauce. When she's in Detroit, like, you're
she's
fucking,
she's
you're a
trying to
piece of
pander.
shit for
She was
doing
on the
that.
Breakfast
pandering to
Club.
black people.
Yeah.
When Charlemagne the God's like, so what do you carry in your purse? It's like, hot sauce. Really? Hot
Yeah.
sauce? It's like, yeah.
Like, I think that's some bullshit, but
You don't carry hot sauce.
I also sort of think, like, it is totally possible that she changed her opinion on abortion rights. I do think that's totally possible that she changed her idea about same-sex marriage. I also think that's possible that she never actually had that opinion. She was just doing it to support Bill, who did support that.
Or maybe, okay, yeah, that
Well,
is a point, but I just want to bring it back to the fact that I definitely believe that she was in it for personal gain. And
In the
she
presidential election?
Yeah, and
Okay.
she was just going to change her opinion just so she could pander to anyone.
Okay, I'll agree
Because
with
this
that.
rise of social justice and this rise of caring so much about social issues from the left.
Yeah.
It's like, suddenly I had an epiphany
Yeah,
that
exactly.
same-sex marriage is blank, blank, blank,
But
blank,
in that
blank,
way-
and- yeah.
But in that way, it's also kind of puts a focus on, like, the beauty of, like, humanity is that we'll never really know what the truth is about any given person.
No.
Like,
Of
we'll
course.
never really know what the
Yeah,
truth is
yeah.
if she actually does believe that, if she doesn't believe certain things.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Not
All
even-
we're doing is talking.
Yeah,
All
it's-
we're doing is having a fucking conversation.
Yeah.
I'm sure not even her, like, close comrades would know, because it's like, in the end, it's in her own... Comrades. I don't want to say-
Comrade Clinton.
No, but like even like with their close friends or aides or political allies, like in the end, it's sort of like in her own mind or like what she thinks, and you don't know if she truly, it's like, do I believe in this? Do I not believe in this?
Right,
And,
no, I agree with you.
And even if you're like someone that knew her, it'd be like, how do you feel about this? And it's like, well, how do you truly feel about this? And maybe only one or two people would actually know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
No, I
waxing on at this point.
that is definitely a good point. So, shall we move on?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool,
We can.
great.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Our next segment is This Week in BuzzFeed.
Fuck. I mean, great.
BuzzFeed.
The social justice circle jerk.
How you grace us with your presence, BuzzFeed?
Yeah, can you just die already?
And I guess it's been a slow week.
It's been a slow week on BuzzFeed.
Because there's not a lot of...
Here, scroll on. 17 pictures that'll make sense to an introvert with... Okay, we can't really do this on audio, so...
Oh my god. Alright. Oh, there's a lesbian thing.
Okay, what is
Right,
it?
okay, there are a few political things.
There you go. Here, pick the best one.
Oh my god. Okay, number 10. 18 photos that won't make sense to sisterless families.
Sisterless families?
Like, if you don't have a sister and you want to get it.
Oh, that'd be me and you, Alex.
That would be a lot of people.
Well, no, in this room it'd be me and you.
Yeah,
Because
so
I don't have a
that's
sister, you don't have a sister. Let's
2/3 of the people.
go. Let's freaking go with it, dude.
I sort of feel like this is another instance of, like, even if I have a sister, I'm still gonna read it. Because I think it's funny.
Yeah, because it has the word sister. Oh, I don't have a sister, or I do have a sister.
I wonder what it's like
I
to
gotta
have
stay in my
one.
lane.
Yeah.
Arjun,
I
you're
better
not allowed
stay
to
in my
comment
lane.
on this. You aren't experienced in this, okay?
And this isn't just sisters, it's like, it's the siblings. It's
Can
like,
can you stop with your sister privilege?
a lot
I have
of it-
sisters, so I know what I'm talking about. So stay in your lane, guys.
So all of these are basically just memes of like,
BuzzFeed.
when you're going through your sibling stuff, and then you hear them coming up the stairs, and it's a picture of a chicken running really, really fast.
Oh, God.
And like, stuff like that.
BuzzFeed, you and your... And when she tries to leave the house wearing
Your clothes.
There's Pepe the Frog. When things... I barely touched you.
When she's bleeding. Anyway. So,
That's okay.
this is another instance of BuzzFeed just like
Being
making
BuzzFeed.
clickbait for
Yeah,
everybody to click
Absolutely.
on. On a scale of 1, 2, 3, 4,
Stage 1, 2, 3, 4 cancer.
what's it gonna
Yeah.
be
For what?
This,
for this?
The sibling, the sisterless.
I think this is harmless, but I also think that it's like a good way to draw people to their site.
Yeah, it's stage 1 cancer.
Stage 2 for me.
Really? Why is that?
Well, I think because in a way, it feels kind of like... I mean, it is clickbait to me. I feel, going back to that whole, like, oh, you have a sister, so you don't know what you're talking, so there's a bit more of that
Okay.
Yeah.
breadth of air, so...
Are your egg opinions legit?
What does that mean?
Your opinions about eggs?
My opinions about eggs are super legit.
Arjun?
I eat more eggs than anyone on the
I
planet.
only really eat eggs on weekends, and they're delicious, and you can make all kinds of like all types of omelets or scrambled eggs.
All right,
Yeah.
bring up the article. I'm either going to agree with these guys or I'm going to disagree.
Sean eats on average 6 eggs a day.
I couldn't do
Sometimes 8. The only
I
other
used to.
person
I
I
don't
know,
really eat that much.
the only person I know that eats more than that is our friend's brother, who goes through a dozen eggs a day.
that. I couldn't do that either.
Yeah.
Toilet Water's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which egg is the best?
Which egg is the best?
Okay,
On,
Oh, it's one of
on
those
toast, boiled, scrambled, or fried?
Scrambled.
fried.
Alright, let's see if your toast... 39 people agree with you. So, I guess you're 39% legit.
I'm the greatest.
What's the best bread for an egg sandwich? Kaiser roll, bagel, toast, English muffin.
Bagel.
English muffin.
Oh wait, there's more.
Oh.
Croissant or biscuit?
Still bagel.
Oh, biscuit.
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 I love
Got
biscuits.
some
Y'all want a biscuit?
Y'all want
And-
biscuit, some gravy?
You're the lowest amount of legit, 10%.
Haha.
Kill yourself.
Which meat goes best with eggs?
Bacon.
Dis meat, boy. Steak,
Bacon.
ham, sausage, bacon.
Bacon.
I would say sausage myself, but
Sausage.
bacon was 64%. Cooking with just egg whites, yay or nay?
Nay.
No. You're missing out on a lot of nutrients when you do
And
that.
fats.
Yeah. And 63% say no. So, there you go. Eggs Benedict or un croque madame?
Or
Oh, croque madame.
eggs Benedict Cumberbatch.
Eggs.
Thank you, I'll be here all night.
I
There you go,
disagree
you'll
so
be-
much.
No, man.
Eggs
fucking
Benedict was the most legit.
Croque.
Benedict
Have you
Cumberbatch.
ever had a croque madame?
It looks disgusting.
What's a croque madame?
It's
I don't like
it's an-
fried and like combined foods though.
Okay,
I'm
it
weird
is a
about
fried egg sandwich
Okay.
with a sunny side egg up on a sunny side egg on top,
That's pretty delicious.
covered in bechamel cream sauce.
That's not what
It's French hangover food.
French hangover.
I don't like combined food. Like I don't like
don't like-
combined breakfast foods. Like I like my breakfast food to be like here.
But you eat eggs Benedict,
Yeah.
which is completely.
I was getting
combined.
to that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, but that I think is because I wouldn't eat it without hollandaise sauce.
No,
No, because hollandaise sauce is my favorite food group.
that is true. Every
So-
time we go get breakfast, you have to get hollandaise.
I always get a side of hollandaise sauce, even if it's like $7. Like
if you
Why
ain't
is it so
talking
expensive?
hollandaise sauce,
it's
I don't want to
labor
talk.
intensive.
What does hollandaise sauce even taste like? I know of it. I
It's
just don't know
like
what it tastes
creamy and sweet and salty
like. Oh, that's pretty interesting.
and like savory at the same time. You have to try it.
Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah,
Next
it's
time,
really
next time.
good. Which of these egg dishes is the best? Quiche, frittata, omelette, or hish?
Frittata.
Frittata. I
Frittata.
disagree. So much
We
we
are-
don't agree.
Wow.
Agree to disagree.
Frittata was also the
I will not agree to disagree about fucking eggs.
Agree to disagree is brought to you by the frittata.
Honestly, if you don't like the same eggs as me, we're not friends anymore. I'm unfriending you on Facebook.
Yeah, and I'll still follow you on Twitter.
I'll hate follow you.
This
I'll
is
hate
the
follow
this is
you on
the
Twitter,
egg
though.
this is the eggisode of Agree to disagree.
Episodes.
Brought to you by the Italian family the frittata.
The frittata.
Frittata.
This is brought to you by egg. What was the name of that place? The egg place.
Eggtacular?
Expectations.
Expectations.
Yeah, it's brought to you by those. No,
Not
no,
actually
it's
brought
not.
to you by.
No.
Sponsor me expectations.
Don't sue us.
We will shill.
Is fried egg good on a burger?
Yes.
or no? Hell yeah, I agree.
Hell,
You ain't talking fried eggs on burgers. I don't
Eggison
wanna talk.
politics.
And 55%.
Eggison,
yes.
Eggison politics.
Thomas Eggison.
like partisan I don't know. Egg partisan politics or something. I was gonna try to combine eggs with partisan, but
Oh,
Okay, you're gonna get there. Just keep going.
yeah. just give me time, guys. Just give me time.
We'll be
keep
here all
going. Keep
day.
going. Keep going.
Deviled eggs, yes or no?
yeah. Why
Right.
not?
I've never tried one.
They're okay.
What is wrong with you, man? They're so good.
They're just like a
Ketchup or
juice-
hot sauce on eggs?
Hot sauce.
And-
Devil's eggs.
I don't like any sauce.
No sauce.
No sauce.
Well, who likes?
I like eggs with hot
53%
sauce.
That's
Ketchup?
ketchup.
Wow, you guys are basic.
Which potato
We're
dish
Mormon.
goes best with eggs? Hash browns, home fries, hash brown patties, or French fries?
Hash brown
Home
patties.
fries. Home fries. Who are
Really?
you?
I agree with you though.
Hey.
Who are you people?
Yeah,
Dude,
because
that's
you
one
could dip
big-
it in.
Yeah, you
and then
could dip it.
you could use it as toast. So you could eat it like that. It's
Oh, look
good
at-
shit.
I could understand with like with regular hash browns, like not the patties, but like hash browns. It'd be a lot better if it was like a scrambled egg or
Yeah.
something. You can mix it with it.
Yeah, I don't like mixed foods though.
Why not?
I think it's gross. I don't know. Like, my parents used to always joke when, like, we had dinner and it's like, Mr. Steak can't touch Mrs. Broccoli. And I'm like, for real. That is...
Wow, your parents gendered steak and broccoli?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
They're the worst.
I'm a big man of steak, and I can't be with Miss Broccoli over here.
But what's so funny...
I'm a human! I like to eat food!
And apparently this is an actual, like, brain disorder.
No, I have my brother's like that.
No,
and I have an uncle like that, too.
No, but listen... This is like an actual brain thing. I used to gender numbers.
I did the exact same thing.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Like, I used to think, like, 7 and 9 always wanted to, like, be in a relationship, but 8 was keeping them apart.
I didn't.
Yeah, like, I personified numbers.
Oh, wow. I just gave
and
them
it's, like,
genders.
an actual, like a mental thing.
Like, I'm retarded?
No, but it's, like, it's... not like a syndrome, but it's, like, a thing that
like
has a
lot
name.
Of people. Okay. Because, like, I used to think 1 is a boy, 2 is a girl, 3 is a boy, 4 is a girl, 5 is a boy, 6 is a girl, 7's a boy, 8's a girl, and 9's a girl.
It's called ordinal linguistic personification.
There you go, ordinal linguistication.
For me, 1 was either 1. It could have been boy or girl.
Okay.
2 was definitely a boy.
Really?
Yeah, 3 was a boy. 4 was a girl, 5 was a boy, 6 was a boy, 7 was a girl, 8 was a girl, 9 was a boy.
9 is a boy?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess for me, most of the odd digits are boys, because they have, like, an odd digit.
I guess so, yeah.
Boys.
Like a
Like a
penis. Like a penis.
Like a pee-pee.
Yeah.
So honestly, Sean, I know that you think your egg opinions are the most legit, but according to Buzzfeed, which is the most reputable source of news these days, you have the least legit. Like, you're in the minority.
Am I really?
Yeah, you really, truly are. What is the best Tex-Mex egg dish? Breakfast burrito, breakfast tacos, huevos rancheros, or migas?
Second one.
Wait, which one's Ramos Rancheros?
That's the one with ranch on it.
I will go with burritos.
I would say breakfast burrito too. That's like my go-to.
But the thing is, we live in Canada. We don't
really have Tex-Mex.
We don't eat Tex-Mex food.
No, not really. Like, you can get it, but it's not like a go-to.
We're not in California.
Egg salad, yes or no?
No.
Or like the Californians on SNL.
I love egg salad.
Oh my god, egg salad triggers
so
me.
good. I'm triggered by egg salad.
I'm triggered by egg salad.
Man, so you're in the minority. Like, I hate to tell you.
My opinions are superior.
I still find it funny that there's a Mr. Steak and Miss Broccoli. May I escort you to the mashed potato roll, Miss Broccoli? Me and my moody arms. Like, I'm just imagining the voice of Mr. Broccoli is like
No, Mr. Steak.
No, Mr. Whatever.
Is he like a Texan oil baron?
He's from Georgia.
No, he's like a fancy Georgia man that
like from the 1800s.
That fans himself and has like a white suit. He's like, oh, I do declare, it's a very supple human afternoon.
So he's a ranch owner with like slaves.
Or he's Alex Jones. Excuse me, miss. I want to take you down. I want to get you away from these globalists because they're turning the freaking frogs gay. So I want to take you to
bury him in the water.
What we got is a bunch of carnivores.
Oh my god.
Let's bury him in the water and the cigarette smoke, and the devil is trying to come through the cigarette smoke to... I don't know.
That made me sick.
So,
I'm tired.
What's so interesting about this is that they have all of these, like, egg opinions. Tell us your dating preferences and we'll tell you how old you really are. As if you don't know.
I'm
Fill in the blanks
70.
and we'll guess which food fucking disgusts you. I spent a year trying to bulk up and get swollen. This is what happens.
Get swole.
Like, all this stuff, and then to the left of it is their real news stuff. Like, the Canada Parliament just passed a controversial motion condemning Islamophobia, which we actually talked about in episode 0.
We talked about it in episode 1.
Last week?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
We talked about the Ontario one, but it just went federal.
Did it? Okay,
Time
so that
flies.
actually, it passed.
We can talk about it another time because we have done zero research about it.
Yeah.
But I could read you the article, and we could see if it's biased, which, I mean, let's do, before I even open the article,
Okay.
do you think it'll be biased, yes or no, in what way?
It'll be biased saying that the bill is great.
Okay.
Because their identity politics shows.
I think it's kind of, yeah, I sort of agree there because it's like, I mean, I understand it's kind of like one of those things where it's like your intentions are good. I can understand why people do it. And it seems like on the surface okay, but depending on like who like controls the law or how it's going to be like used. I think it's like one of those things where it's like you have a thing that could be meant for good, but you don't know whether or not it'll be used for good. It will be used for bad instead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. I think that it will also be biased. So, a motion condemning Islamophobia and other forms of discrimination passed in the Canadian House of Commons on Thursday. Motion took on added significance after a gunman entered a mosque in Quebec City late January and opened fire on worshippers, killing 6, which we all know about. 200 votes in favor, 91 against.
How many votes in favor?
201.
And 91 against.
Yeah. The calls on the government to condemn Islamophobia and all forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination, and to conduct a study on how to combat such discrimination. I sort of feel like we should have done the study before we passed the bill.
A little bit.
But, some people do it backwards.
See, like, my thing...
Sorry to interrupt you, but breaking Buzzfeed news...
Breaking Buzzfeed news.
They posted an article that is very not BuzzFeed. The softening of Kellyanne Conway. So that's an article sympathizing with Kellyanne Conway, which BuzzFeed has been staunchly against.
Well, I can understand why they would, though.
Because
she's a woman.
Good point. But I also sort of think that now that the people are starting to realize, like, okay, like, not the whole not my president thing, he's my president for now. Like, we should maybe... The same way that politicians, like, swing very far left or very far right and then come to the center. I think BuzzFeed's doing the same thing.
Okay, you can be like a staunch conservative Republican or like a triggered SJW lefty Democrat, but like you got to realize that the other guy is going to be president half the time on average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You can say that Donald Trump is different. I don't really think he is. But you can say that he's completely different and that he's going to do terrible, terrible things. But, yeah, I don't know.
Day before the vote... Anyway, back to the bill that was just passed. Although it didn't cause much of a stir when first introduced by Liberal MP Iqra Khalid, M103, the bill, eventually became the subject of many rumors and conspiracy theories. Many critics falsely claim that 103, but it could. You can't say it falsely claimed that it could, because it could. Like,
what are they saying that it could do?
M103 could lead to anti-blasphemy laws, making it illegal to criticize Islam in Canada, which is true. Like, that's not falsely.
Yeah, which is the fear, Like it's a good idea. Like we should condemn and people should, and there should be a criminal offense against discrimination if it's like violence or harassment or not hiring, or if the government isn't going to hire someone because they're Muslim. You know what I mean? There should be laws protecting Muslims, but there shouldn't be laws protecting Islam, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Just like there should be laws protecting Christians and Jews, but there shouldn't be laws protecting Christianity or Judaism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like having like a certain like favoritism towards one religion, basically.
Yeah.
But individuals who happen to be that group, you want to like protect those.
Yeah, they deserve protection under the law because they're human beings with agency.
Exactly.
They have the potential to do good and bad.
In fact, M103 serves as a catalyst for Canadians to speak out against discrimination and be heard where they may not have been heard before. But I sort of feel like that's an opinion, and kind of like you're predicting that it could be a catalyst. Like, in the same way that like a lot of laws are well intended and like have this intention, there's always ways to manipulate the law. Mm-hmm. And in that way, I don't think you can falsely claim that it could lead to whatever.
Right.
Because it's always a possibility that people will take advantage of the law. Yeah. It's always a possibility that people will use it to criminalize people for criticizing Islam.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean.
So I think that it's interesting that they don't have it on...
Are you saying it's interesting? Are you surprised that BuzzFeed is not...
I'm not... I think it's really telltale that we can predict that it's going to be biased rather than like actual news. And it was written by someone named Ishmael and Darrow from Buzzfeed News Reporter. This is news! Like, this is not
This is
news!
real news. It's not... Is it fake news?
No,
or is
but
it real news?
BuzzFeed does have, right above it, if you get 3 out of 7 on this quiz, you're getting sucker punched by fake news. We could take that quiz, too.
I'm good.
They also wrote an article about Dave Chappelle's trans jokes.
Which were fucking hilarious. I watched the first special he did.
Just
That's
released
on
on Netflix a
now.
couple of days ago.
Yeah,
right?
I watched the first one because there's 2 of them.
I still need to
I
see it.
watched the first one and it was really good.
Okay.
Alright. Getting sucker punched by fake news. Are you? Yes or no? So there's a bus stop ad that looks like it's a picture of someone burning the British flag. Is that real or not real?
Well, I need
it.
more. I can see it, but I need more like.
There's no.
context.
A bus stop ad in London was replaced by a poster of the Union Jack burning.
It probably happened.
You think that's real
People
or
do
fake?
things like that all the time.
Real or fake?
Real.
Real.
And it was real. A Trump cabinet member said it's better for a budget if cancer patients die more quickly.
That's probably fake.
Yeah.
Actually, knowing BuzzFeed is probably real. They'll probably say it's real, even though it's probably not.
BuzzFeed sort of is fake news sometimes, though, I feel.
They're fake news all the time. What are
They
you
just
talking
don't
about?
admit it.
Yeah. So do you think that's real or fake?
Fake.
You think that's fake news?
Yeah.
It is fake news.
Woo!
The story spread widely on Facebook, but it was a hoax that originated from the fake news site. Is this telegram
The fake
real or
news
fake?
site, BuzzFeed, or another fake news site.
Is this telegram real or fake?
What does
To
it
the
say?
White House from Ray Kroc, the McDonald's Corporation, Oak Park, Illinois. McDonald's Corporation sent a message to the White House that said, Richard Nixon, retire, bitch. Real or fake? I think that's real, because that's
Real,
some shit
yeah.
that would happen back in, 1973, which is when the telegram was...
Okay.
Retire, bitch.
I think that would be real.
Richard Nixon, retire, bitch. Let's see it.
Oh.
Wrong.
The creator told BuzzFeed News it was originally meant as a joke, but some thought it was real, including Fortune magazine.
Wow, they had a sense of humor back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
No,
Here.
but they made it recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an attempt at this humor thing.
And
hey,
honestly,
hey, retire. Bitch.
I hate Nixon so much I probably would have written that as a real thing.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I fucking hated Nixon. I currently hate the way that Nixon was then.
Did you see the movie Dick?
No.
The one about where it's like it's Kirsten Dunst and Michelle Williams. They're like these 2 high school girls from the 70s, and somehow they're inadvertently involved in Watergate.
Oh, nice.
And Richard Nixon was
What?
in it. Well, not the real Richard Nixon.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
some actor playing Richard Nixon was in it. It's like, oh, I don't really suspect anything of these 2 teenage girls, and it's funny. Check it out. It's called Dick. To the listeners, D-I-C-K.
Dick.
While attempting to cross the road, a turkey crashed through a tractor trailer's windshield and succumbed to its injuries. True or false?
True.
Absolutely.
True,
Turkeys
that
are
shit happens
fucked.
all the time. It's real. The truck driver only had minor injuries, AP reports, but the turkey is no longer with us.
Well, I mean, after Thanksgiving.
Is this announcement in the London Underground not railroad, but their subway station, real or fake? Date 22/03/2017. Date 14:45. All terrorists are politely reminded that this is London, and whatever you do to us, we will drink tea and jolly well carry on. Thank you. Real or false?
False.
Probably real.
I feel like that's.
It's like, hey, terrorists, do you mind not killing people?
Oh, it's fake. You were wrong. You were right, Arjun.
You're right. It's fake. The sign was created by a fake tube sign generator, but many people fell for it. Here's how to tell when you're looking at a fake tube sign.
I guess the real best would be like, oi, bro, you step on our property, we'll mess you up.
Yeah.
That sounds like something.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, you what?
A man wearing a leopard print robe, a black mask, orange Crocs, and orange gloves successfully held up a McDonald's wielding nothing but a hairbrush. I would believe that. That shit happens in the South? Sure. No, not in the South. People would kill you.
The South.
You'd get shot.
Yeah.
But I feel like somewhere like Wisconsin...
Wisconsin. Everyone has guns in Wisconsin.
Yeah. But I sort of feel like that's real news.
It's rural
It
areas.
is real. Sometimes the truth is stranger
It's
than
real.
fiction. As Associated Press reports, the man stole $130 in cash, which has since been recovered.
That's hilarious.
Oh, this next one has a picture of a English bulldog wearing a firefighter costume. It's so cute.
I have to see that. Aww.
Stop
I'm not a huge fan of dogs, but that's cute.
Yeah. What are you looking at over there, Arjun?
Just looking at my podcast to see which ones have been uploaded.
Oh, so you're distracted from the matter at hand.
No, I'm. This is like podcasting while I'm looking at other podcasts.
Oh, you're podcasting.
Yeah.
Square, got it.
Yeah, podcasting.
We're in a podcast continuum.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That works.
A dog survived after firefighters spent 20 minutes performing mouth-to-snout resuscitation.
Aww.
Definitely happened.
I would believe that.
Firefighters are heroes.
That's true.
Let's find out.
And that's real news.
Huh.
All those men are heroes, Associated Press reports.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Firefighters are heroes.
Alright,
anyways, what do we got next?
There was a thing about the Singapore blogger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Amos Yee.
Yeah. So the Associated Press wrote about it, which is all real news. A blogger from Singapore who was jailed from his online post blasting his government was granted asylum to remain in the United States.
Okay.
Amos Yee has been detained by federal immigration authorities since December when he was taken into custody at Chicago. Said he could be released from a Wisconsin detention center, blah, blah, blah. Yee has met his burden of showing that he has suffered past persecution on account of his political opinion and his well-founded fear of future persecution in Singapore. So that's why they're keeping him in the U.S.
Right. So there was the judge. The judge acted in favor of granting his asylum to stay in the United States.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, that's basically what I think I'm getting at from this article.
The U.S. doesn't agree with what he did, but they're like, your persecution could be way worse in Singapore than it is here. So
Yeah,
just keep it
absolutely.
It could be like in Bangladesh where they'll like hack you to death.
Yeah.
Really?
I've read more articles about this, and he was in jail in Singapore.
It's like Alex, like there's like some reports like last year of like bloggers in Bangladesh that would pretty much do the same thing.
Really?
But somehow the government will like track it, and like people will like hack them to death in their like apartment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like law students or whatever.
Right, or anyone who speaks out against the government or the ruling ideology.
Or like against like the religion.
Right, and that's exactly what this guy Amos Yee was doing. You know, he was just saying like, I disagree with what the Singaporean government is doing, and I disagree with. He was also criticizing the religions of Christianity and Islam.
Yep.
Which are the big religions there, and he was essentially like deplatformed and thrown in jail for it, which I think is completely wrong. And I kind of think that it's my opinion that the government of Singapore, and any government for that matter, has no right to tell people what they can talk about. You know what I mean? Like, my right to swing my fist ends as it hits someone's nose. You know what I mean? So I can say whatever the fuck I want. You can say whatever the fuck you want, Arjun. Yeah. You can say that you wish that I'm dead. You know? You can't say that you're going to kill me, but you can say that, Sean, I hope you get cancer and die. And I'll be like, okay, that's your right. Like, why would you say that,
that's
man?
your right.
Okay, that's
But
your right.
that is your right to say that you hope I get cancer and die.
And it would be your right to sort of like go against. I'd be like, well, Arjun, I don't think I'm going to get cancer because.
Yeah, and write like this big article about it.
Yeah. It's like, here is why Sean will get cancer.
This is why I think Sean will get cancer.
No, this is why I won't get cancer, written by Sean.
Oh, yeah, and then we'll just go back and forth and back and forth.
But that's your right to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'd be very entertaining.
It would be. We could have like a debate on why you think I should get cancer and why you think I shouldn't get cancer.
We breaking the internet.
We breaking the internet?
We're breaking the internet, dog.
Yeah, homie. Yeah, so what else we got here?
That's what we have. Like, do you want to talk about how this shit is... Someone said, okay, here's the thing. I just opened the webpage, and the first thing that my eye drew to was a quote that said, unusually long and harsh. That's what she said.
Hey, Michael Scott. Yeah, okay, so what were we talking about? We were going to have this debate? You and I, Arjun?
Oh, yeah. Would you rather be your age now, in the early 2000s, or currently?
Okay, so I'm... For clarity reasons, I'm 25 and Arjun, you're
23.
23. So that'll give us some context. So I think before we jump into this debate, I think that I would rather. There's not a single time in history that I would rather live other than today.
Oh.
What about you, Arjun?
Yeah.
Well, part of me feels that because I'm kind of, well, I wouldn't say owed, that's a weird way of putting it, but because I was a little kid, and I couldn't, as you're little, it's kind of hard to process many complex ideas and things and what's around you. I didn't really get I always want to know, because looking back, I always found like the early 2000s to be an interesting time, just for a variety of reasons. And I wish I was old enough at the time, basically the age I am now, during the early 2000s to experience and like see those things and witness life back then. And, it would be cool to like sort of be in like university during the early 2000s and just like witness what life was like when there wasn't that much technology, or when the computer, or like when the internet was still kind of like a countercultural thing.
Okay.
And when, I guess, like there was less like scrutiny on the smallest thing, less clickbait, or sort of like less restraint from, internet culture. So I kind of want to know what life was like before, the advent of social media.
Okay, well, I'll start off by saying that you can find out what life was like. Like, you can't be there, but you can get pretty close to being there. Like, you can watch TV shows that have been made about it, or you can watch like documentaries. You can find information about it. You just have to Google it, right?
Yeah, I feel though, but just like Googling it, or like watching documentaries, or like news clips from CNN, it'll be like, oh, this just feels more like a time capsule. What would it have been like if I were 23 years old and 9/11 happened, or what would it be like if I were 23 years old and something from 2002 happened? For some reason, I'm just really infatuated with the year 2002, because I feel like a lot of things, like arts and culture-wise, or like pop culture-wise, happen, and it kind of went past me because I didn't have like the...
Of course, because you were a child.
To process it all, or to notice that. Or it'd be like that show Undergrads, where it's like, oh, I wonder what it would be like if I were like a college or a university student back in the early 2000s. Things seemed more like simple and fun, and people didn't give much of a shit.
But here's the thing, like, there are definitely certain people, and there's definitely certain things about culture, like, nowadays I definitely disagree with, but I definitely think that, like, you could say that you would love to live back then, but if you were 25 back then, let's say, flash forward 15 years in the future, you would be 38, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, my math's correct. Okay, you'd be 38, and then you would be that much older, and then what about in like the future when people are colonizing Mars and doing all these SpaceX missions? Like, we are living in an amazing time right now.
I disagree.
There's a guy called Elon Musk, and he has developed the SpaceX program that will get people to Mars and will get people to other planets. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff, people didn't even think about that stuff back then. And like, now that we have social media, high-speed internet, we're smarter. We're definitely not obviously that much smarter than we were like 15 years ago.
Right.
But we're definitely smarter. We definitely are more convenient. We definitely have way better access to information.
Yeah.
You know, I could ask Google how many people live in Papua New Guinea. Back then, I would have to like dig through Google, or I would have to go to a library, or have to go to an encyclopedia, which is probably outdated by the time I'm reading it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see your point, and I do think that what we have access to now is amazing, but I think that because of that access to information, a lot of people are less psychologically at peace.
That's what I think.
And I think that it would be way easier to live in... Because it's true that ignorance is bliss, right?
Okay.
And it's way easier to live in ignorance when the information is not readily available to you.
Yeah.
So more people now are being called out for being ignorant, and more people are being affected by being called ignorant because because there's no reason you shouldn't know that information. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think that it takes a certain amount of ignorance for a population to socially grow.
Right.
And I think that why I would rather live now, like my age in the early 2000s, is because that means between the ages of 10 and 20, I lived through the 90s. And, like,
Okay.
to me, living in the 90s is, like, my ideal decade to live in, for me. Simply not based on the basics of, like political stuff or, like, international issues and things like that, just because of the culture is so interesting to me that they had so much and so much less at the same time.
Are you so Seattle?
What do you mean?
Because like that's where Nirvana's from.
Like
really?
grunge and stuff.
I was never, like, a
started
Nirvana
in
fan.
Washington.
Like
So-
if there was one thing I'd like to if it ever came to the point where like I'd be the age now in the 90s, I'd like to go to like the early years of Lollapalooza when it was like a traveling music
That's
fest.
true.
That seems like a lot of fun.
Sure, okay.
And I also sort of...
You can-
Let me finish my point here.
Okay.
I think that the 90s had a lot less information, and therefore they were a lot less... I'm putting air quotes here, safe. And I think that in our society, we value safety over everything. And I think that that really holds us back in a lot of things. It doesn't allow us to be adventurous.
A lot less risks that are being taken.
Not on an overall level, I mean individually. Like, for when they banned Kinder Eggs in the United States, I thought that was the dumbest shit ever.
Wait,
Just
when did they
because
do that?
That happened, when did Kinder Eggs get banned?
Well, that's a bit over the top.
Since 1938, apparently. But that wasn't that recent. That seems more recent than that, though.
Okay, anyways.
But my point is
your
kind
point
of like, I think that we've lost a lot of our human joie de vivre because we haven't had a chance to actually live outside the bounds of what is considered safe.
See, I don't really see your point there because I kind of think that like we're living in a time where we're realizing that so much is possible.
I agree, but we can't...
Look at half the people who have made a living off of YouTube.
Yes, I
PewDiePie?
understand that, but that's still within the bounds of what's safe. Like,
What are you talking about?
You
have
can't
been-
smoke on a patio anymore.
Yeah, that's because smoking cigarettes. That's because secondhand smoke can actually kill people.
That's debatable. That's actually scientifically debatable.
Okay.
But
whatever.
anyway, besides the point, I'm saying, like, there are so many more rules now on how you can and can't live your life.
Sure, but like back in the past, I'm not talking about the 1990s, but like even before then, there have been tons of rules on how people can and cannot.
Like I know political correctness kind of like emerged in the early 90s.
I think it emerged in the early 2000s.
No, I think it emerged in the early 90s, and then when Bush became president, it kind of like became a joke.
Yeah.
And then I think it came back.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
But I sort of think that, like, that's why I would rather live in the 90s, is because they had so much more fun stuff. And people, like, now we value safety, then we valued fun and, like, personal growth.
Of course, that is one thing, but I think that the amount of opportunity we have as people, like sure the same. It's not like the same where we go get like a degree at like a 4-year college or like university because we're in Canada, we have university. We just go and then we can get a job. It doesn't work like that anymore, but there are tons of other opportunities out there. You know what I mean? And I mean the economy might be different and it might be new and scary. But I kind of think that, like, we live in the best time ever to be alive.
Okay.
In terms of, like, scientific discoveries and what we can do in terms of technology.
I don't think of it that way. I think it's just because we think of it differently.
And
like,
we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what I
the
mean?
fear of the unknown. That's, like...
But it's also an excitement of the unknown. You know what I mean?
I think we have different opinions on this because we value different things.
Or we're thinking or coming at it from different angles.
That exactly.
Like, I'm coming at it because there's the opportunity and the mystery of the future.
And science and technology advancements
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
And I don't think that that's...
Dave Chappelle just came back with new things on Netflix.
But imagine being in the early 2000s when Dave Chappelle was just becoming the biggest
We
thing.
have Netflix.
With Chappelle's show.
I can watch every single episode of
Not
Chappelle's
to mention,
show.
like, mainstream media was so much richer back then.
It had more value.
Yes, but we don't need mainstream media anymore.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like, now... Then we valued fun and we valued self-growth. And now we value safety, we value technology, and we value international growth. Which, yes, I see the value in that, and I do think it's important. But in terms of what would be funner, living in your age now or living in your age in the early 2000s,
Or
to me,
90s.
undisputably more fun is early 2000s.
I would even disagree with you there.
I feel like with the early
I would even
2000s,
disagree with you there. I'm sorry.
I disagree.
because you're talking about the 90s, it was almost like with the early 2000s, it's like taking what you got from the 90s and adding on that.
Yeah.
In terms of like cultural events or like, you know, contributions in terms of, you know, where we were as a society or where we were in terms of, I mean, granted, there were terrible things like 9/11 and...
Of course,
Yeah.
but there are terrible things that are always going to happen.
I mean, yeah, it's a given, but in that case, it's... I don't know, maybe it's just like I'm going back to that sort of argument of like, oh, I wish things, like, everything was better back in my day, you know, back in my day, we had Kool-Aid. What is this? Or what is this Netflix stuff? We had this thing called... I don't know, we had TiVo. No, we don't have TiVo in Canada.
No, we don't need TiVo.
No.
We have Netflix.
That's true.
Well, they have
I mean,
Netflix on there.
that is an interesting point, though. I wish I was, like, 25 and was at least, like, old enough at the time to watch the Chappelle shows that was
Honestly,
happening.
Yeah, when it was first coming out. And, like, early 2000s SNL, forget it.
I
So
wish
good.
that I was 25 30 years from now.
Because
I wish that
Really?
I wasn't born until, like, next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because
Huh.
the world is... Because, like, I hate how people become so pessimistic about the future. Because there are so many amazing things that are happening.
For sure, and I agree.
You know what I mean? Like what we read that article that Joe Rogan shared on Twitter or Instagram. They use a piece of spinach to
Make a
fix
human heart.
to make a human heart out of it.
Yeah.
Like, are you what? And in the 90s, you had like a war in Kosovo.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, there are definitely great things that happened in the 90s and the early 2000s. But I mean, like,
But I also sort of feel like right now we have like such an addiction to finding information as fast as possible and an addiction
Yeah.
to our own personal technology. Like the amount of times that like even just now talking to Arjun on the podcast, I was like, what are you looking at on your phone? When we're like, it's so hard for people to be present.
no, my bad
No.
on that
And I
one.
feel
I
like-
know I
That's
should
okay.
I should have
That's
put my
No,
phone away.
I'm calling you out because I call you out, I call myself out, and I call everyone out on it.
Fair enough.
And, like, when I did that, even Sean was like, can you not fucking do that on the podcast? But, like, honestly, like, this is something that I value in my core values. It's, like, being present is, like, borderline... And I think that if you were born next year, if you were your age, even if you were 12 in 13 years, you will lose the ability to be present. And I think in our ability to be present, we have a joie de vivre, like I said. Like, we are able to enjoy the things that are happening right now.
You think we're becoming...
And when we're constantly glued to our phones, glued to our tablets, glued to our computers, glued to whatever. In the 90s, it was glued to our televisions.
includes
But they
like,
weren't-
video game systems.
Yeah, but things
Yeah.
that you couldn't take
PS2.
around with you. Like, I can... In the early 2000s, I could go outside and go for a walk and enjoy what is actually going on around me. Maybe have my Walkman with me. But now, if I go walk down the street, there's no fucking doubt in the world that I'm looking down at my phone. There's no doubt that the person walking next to me, we're not going to say hi to each other.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I
yeah.
think that
Yeah.
that is something, like, that's a beautiful part about society that we're losing day by day.
Sure,
Do you
but
think we're
I-
becoming more narcissistic or like living in more of
Absolutely.
a bubble because of that?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
for
yeah.
sure.
But I kind of think like those are definitely bad things. And with everything that happens, there are pros and there are cons. But I kind of think that those can be the bad things, but there are definitely tons and tons of good things
Yeah.
that come with it. You
Like,
know,
good
like,
outweighing the bad.
Like, how easy is it that I want to watch what's that show from the 30s with like Lucy and Ricky Ricardo?
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy. I could watch every single episode of I Love Lucy on my computer.
Yeah.
Legally or illegally, doesn't matter. I could find a way to get it legally.
Maybe I'm just wishing for more of a simpler time, and you
I
know,
agree.
like I wish of a simpler time back when this was that. You know, when the economy was better, there were more jobs, or there was less technology. You know, when there were Saturday morning cartoons.
When
There's
Tommy
still-
Lahren didn't exist yet, that
There
was fucking idiot.
there still are Saturday morning cartoons.
Probably would have been a kid.
And who did you have instead of Tommy Lahren? You had
Wasn't
Ann
it-
Coulter. You had
Ann Coulter and Nancy Grace.
and fucking Nancy
Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace.
Speaking of Tommy Lahren, I'm going to take away from the subject because we're never going to come around for
Yeah,
full circle.
we are
Agree to disagree.
agreeing to disagree. There we go. Yeah, pull up that article. We can talk about that.
So Tomi Lahren recently got fired from The Blaze.
She got suspended.
She got suspended, impending her
fired.
leaving. Because she left the network to go somewhere else, and they were like, "Oh, you're suspended until you leave."
Yeah, all
so
because
she essentially
of...
got fired because she went on The View and said that she was pro-choice.
She went on The View.
Yeah.
She's everywhere now. Ever since she was on
everywhere.
on like the Daily Show, it's like she's become like a mini celebrity.
Listen, recently I've been compiling a small mental list,
All right.
and that mental list is headlined with, "If the purge was real, this is who I'd go after."
You go after Tomi Lahren.
And I can't confirm whether or not she's on the list or not, because that could get me in a lot of trouble. But I just want you all to know that there is a list in my mind. And
We're also talking about Tomi Lahren.
we're also talking about Tomi Lahren.
I always thought her name was Tomi Lernen or something.
I thought it was Tomi Lahren.
Or Lernen.
I thought it was Lauren.
Well, it doesn't matter. She has a strange name.
It doesn't matter.
Where's she
People are
from?
calling
Tom-
tomato lamaretto or something on the
Tomato
internet. Like,
linguine?
yeah.
Listen here, Tomato Linguine. I don't care about
Yeah.
Glenn Beck.
Everywhere.
Having a serious talk with her.
Oh my god. Having a serious conversation with Glenn Beck, that must be the hardest thing.
Forget it.
We got a bunch of con artists. Listen, Tommy. Listen, tomato salad. We don't have time for your pro.
It's true, though. And then she got suspended.
Okay.
And now she's out of work at the moment and just doing
you-
interviews and stuff.
Do you think that here
Yeah,
going
she's probably being groomed to go on Fox News.
Probably.
going back to like our if she was like famous during the early 2000s and she said that on The View and she had like I don't know worked for Fox News, or if The Blaze was just like a small internet thing that nobody looked at, would she have been fired, or it would have been more press for her and more recognition from The Blaze if this were an early 2000s
it's
thing?
more press for her. The thing is that it's bad press for The Blaze. Because The Blaze isn't a very big company either, you know?
Yeah.
And Glenn Beck is not the conservative golden child that he used to be.
Yeah.
He's a conservative bad boy.
He's a conservative bad boy.
I also want to point out that all of the topics that we're talking about have been linked in the description below. I'm going to make sure that we have all of those on there so you can research those topics yourself, come up with your own opinions, and let us know. Either Facebook message us, leave us a comment. If you know us personally, feel free to message us. But it would be preferred if you contacted us on the Facebook page, just because
We should include that.
it's easier.
Maybe I'll include that on the page too. The same, debate about the 2000s and maybe like
Yeah, we should run a poll. I think you can do that on the Facebook page.
We could either do a Facebook poll, or maybe it'd be like a thing where I'll just make the post and be like, "Hey, what do you think? This, or this, or this?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?" And then we can just share their thoughts in case like they want to like go beyond just.
I'm
like,
sure
a
everybody
check mark.
has an opinion about that.
There you go.
So
And
that's
we
what
can
I'll do. I'll go on the Facebook page and I'll link that in the description below as well. Make sure to subscribe to us, like our Facebook page, and share with our friends. We're probably going to be having an upcoming contest for people to come on the show, depending on what kind of feedback we get. We also have an English Springer Spaniel that's chutting like a lion at the moment. Dakota.
She's fine. Anyways, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up. If you're listening to us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up.
Leave us
a comment, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know if you think that Sean is the sexiest man alive.
He's not.
Okay.
I'm his girlfriend.
Yeah, and so let us know what you think, and we'll.
Have you seen Khal Drogo?
And we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Happy.